Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 16 of the Aussie Backyard Banter. We've got our chocolate sorted for this episode, sponsored by Sam. Tommy's brought the natural confectionery lollies and the Powerade. Are we trying to get sponsors from the Powerade, Tommy? We're not sure.
We are. Well, it is FIFA World Cup and they are sponsored by FIFA, so just tying it all together.
Yeah. And Beals, welcome, mate, joining with the New York Yankees cap. Great to have you online.
Absolutely. Best hat I own.
Number one fan. Number one fan.
No, it's good to do a normal episode after the lads in lockdown reunion. Tommy, you listened to it, mate. What were your thoughts, mate? Getting the gang back together.
Mate, yeah, it was good. Entertaining listen, hour and a half, kept me sane for a couple of drives to work and back, and just listen to a few farmers' intake in the world is always interesting. It was good to hear their thoughts on everything.
Mate, and Sam, great to have you back. I promise that this episode won't get lost with ransomware like the last one. So we'll see.
You got to pay your bills, big fella.
Yes, I know. Yeah.
Stop looking at dodgy websites. I think it's a big one for that. We'll leak your photos unless you give us the money kind of set up.
Yeah, look, we won't talk about what the ransomware was involved in. We'll just say that it was there and we've moved on. We've paid our debts. But Sam, great to have you back, mate. Now, you have mentioned, and we'll give you the top of the show, you are going to leave us in Lingo for about a month. Is it just short of a month going over to Europe?
3 weeks, mate. Yeah. So, European summer, baby. Look out. Watch me get my big fat gut out overseas.
When are you flying out? Shortly?
Sunday week.
Ooh,
yeah.
Excited.
Yeah, so pumped. Super excited. Trying to dot the I's and cross the T's and dry pack and sort all my gear out before we head off. So.
Got it all sorted. Got your passport every night. Look at it, make sure it's in the same spot, and
I've actually
not missing. And I'm gonna find it. Oh wow!
I know. It's like when I showed up to referee game of footy the other day. I didn't bring my whistle.
That's probably a key.
Yes.
Key aspect you might need in refereeing.
Yeah, it's important.
What did you do?
Borrowed one.
Yeah.
Well, I was given one. Yeah.
No, it'll be good fun. So whereabouts are you going? Just all of Europe? You're doing one part in particular, or what's the plan?
Spain, so Barcelona, French Riviera, up to Switzerland, down to Rome, and then I'm out, and then back into a Wagga winter.
Beautiful.
Mm.
Beautiful. That's about 5 weeks away. You'd be over there. I wonder if the World Cup would have finished up by then. You'd be partying with Europeans holding a trophy, or
the Tour de France kicks off in Barcelona like 3 days after we leave.
Oh wow!
Oh bugger!
So if I had coordinated myself a bit better, I could have been the European correspondent for the Tour de France.
You can let us know what the track looks like.
Yeah. Well,
yeah. That's...
when I found out that fact, I was kind of devoed, and then I was like, hang on, do I really want the crowds and to be there for the 30 seconds that they zing past you? As much as I love the Tour de France, and I like watching the Tour de France, but do you know what I mean? Am I there? What am I there for?
Oh, exactly right. I watch it on TV most years, but you watch the whole race.
Yeah, exactly.
You said you literally you get a bad spot, they just go fly past you. Oh yeah, well, I'll go find them tomorrow.
It.
Like it's not really.
I'm going to be 100 k's ahead of this now.
It's not really a live spectator sport, is it? In that aspect, so yeah.
I do love some of the footage with guys in the paddocks following them, like whether on push bikes or motorbikes or doing jumps or.
I've seen this. There's actually a footage I saw during the week. It was a little old lady. She would have been in the 90s. It was on a scooter, and she was in the traffic, and she's pulled out of the traffic. Out of the spectator, slipped her rider. Like, my gosh, she did well not to die that rider. Like, have you seen her, Bills? It was horrible.
Can't say I have. What she pulled out in front of the bikes.
Yeah, so she wanted a better look. She's on a scooter, and it's like, I can't see here. So she's pulled forward to have a look around the corner. But of course, the scooter hangs out half a meter, and these bikes are flying and just whack over the handlebars, 3 somersaults, and
it's phenomenally the TV probably doesn't show the speed that they go at. Like, they are bloody fast.
They're flying, yeah.
Like, I couldn't tell you how fast they're going, but they're a lot quicker than they look on TV.
It's 80, 90 k's an hour. Down some of the downhill stuff they're doing, they are absolutely flying.
Well, I've seen some middle-aged men in Leica around Wagga Cruise, and that's fast enough. But the speeds aren't even close.
40s.
Yeah. That's a good one for you, Bills. It's stats straight up, mate. The average speed of the bike rider on Tour de France, but because it goes for quite a while, doesn't it? Isn't it like 3 weeks, or is it not that long? I've only
Probably longer, is it? Yeah, 3 years.
because I think I could be wrong too, but wasn't it one of those ones, like how they did the Formula One Drive to Survive? Was the Tour de France one before that? Like that documentary on the race?
Not too sure, sorry.
That is a really good watch. I really enjoyed watching that little is it called a mini series where they kind of followed the
Netflix
teams?
show.
Yeah, the Netflix one. I think it might have been one of the first of that style, but it's really interesting to see the team pressures. Like, the owners and their expectations from the sponsors, and, they all go in, and then it's all about, who's got the most money, who's got the best riders for different parts of the track. And
that's the cycling one.
Yeah.
It would be because it's such a tactical team sport, isn't it? Like you don't think about it. You think I just ride to win, but no, every person on that team has their own role, I guess, for making the head of the team champion kind of thing. That's
it. Like, I reckon that would be a struggle. Like, imagine having a team sport, but only one person gets recognised.
Yeah.
Like, it could be, all of us three do all the hard work and Sam will come through and win it. And Sam's up there on the podium. But, if it wasn't for us boys, that's the thing that's weird. It's a team sport, but it's an individual too.
The gamesmanship is in how that team manages the peloton and when the brakes are on, though, which is, it's all tactics. And my favourite is when they grab the water bottle from the car.
Do you reckon there's much banter between, like, if say I'm riding next to you for 21 days, and then are we having a conversation, you reckon, or are we trying to catch our breath? Or are we
I'm just going to say, if it was me, I'd be flat out breathing. Like, it's all fun and games, but I'd say, like, it'd have to be a bit because they all ride in the same competitions around the world. Like, Tour de France is one big event, but they're not just, like, there's a couple of different European championships, so they all know each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Beals, what'd you find out, mate? What speeds are we
the
out
average
travelling?
speed in the modern era is about 40 kilometres an hour. The fastest record that's ever been on the Tour de France is 42.85 kilometres an hour. That's the fastest speed recorded.
Nah. Yeah.
That's what it says
I
here.
reckon you're on the right.
Yeah, right.
Well,
Sam's double checking.
Hold on.
Is that miles? Is that miles?
It says fastest record.
Yeah, average or like?
It must be the average.
Yeah. Same up here.
Average
miles,
speed.
By Europeans talking in miles.
Yeah. So what's I wonder at the top? But yeah, that's as an average with some of those hills.
$1.10.
Yeah, $1.10. Far out.
Book him.
Yeah. I mean, but even you look at the track, like, I don't know if I'd take a car 110 kilometres an hour, some of those roads, like, let alone just a bit of lycra and a little helmet that just going to protect you against any of the elements at 110 Ks. You're bugging.
Do you reckon they're visualising and memorising the track the way that the Formula One drivers do? Have you seen the clips of the Formula One?
Yeah, they muscle memory.
Yeah, where they play the gear changes to them and the revs, and they can pick the track from that.
I think the only reason why I would say no, Sam, is because they're doing that so many laps. It's so repetitive in that Formula One.
True.
And when you're doing that, like you're doing one turn in a full day worth of riding, it'd probably be a bit harder to. But I mean, I suppose they would have ridden those tracks before.
That's it. You'd have to know.
Like, you'd get to the top of the hill and go, right, I know I've got 10 seconds and there's a big bend. And
that's the point, though. Like, they're managed by a team in a car.
Yeah, with
who are tracking them where they go.
Yeah.
And I reckon they would have
that would come in.
the strategy for a particular section because they're managing their numbers through the day to be at a certain point, so that when they get to that point, they go, right, this is your bit. We've practiced this. We've trained for it. Off you go.
Yeah. But you're right. That Formula One guys where they can sit with their eyes closed and do the whole track is just scary.
Something on the PlayStation, I suppose, and nailing it.
Speaking of the only time I've ever been in a World Cup on a PlayStation was soccer. When I remember playing as Brazil back in my earliest memories of a PlayStation 2. But Soccer World Cup's kicked off. Tommy, you've been all over it, mate. What's your thoughts? It's been a few interesting results, but firstly, the thing I've really enjoyed is they brought more teams in than ever this year. I think it's the most amount of teams in a World Cup final. And all the results have been pretty close. There's only been maybe a couple blowouts, but there's been some good games in that.
Yeah, it's been unreal. Like, I know bugger all about, we'll call it football and show some respect, Mitchell.
Yeah.
But I know bugger about football itself, but it's been great watching the best in the world do it. Like,
Yeah.
Yes, it can be a bit boring sometimes and have nil or draws and that, but it's still quite entertaining in that part. Like and the best thing for us too is the time zone it's on. Like,
Yeah.
not that I do, but I could easily sit at work and have it on the laptop next to me and watch a lot of football during the day instead of getting work done. But
I'm pumped to watch us get up against the Yanks.
Reckon we'll do it?
Saturday morning. I want us to. I'm
it's-
keen as like
It would be good.
They've got a gun group of athletes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see them have a dig.
It's the only game we care about now, especially that journalist in America giving us,
Absolutely,
riding us off,
Fuck.
carrying on like, so it's the main game you want to win. Just
Yeah.
beat them Yanks.
Even going back to our first round game, and in general too, I looked up the other day when we were playing Turk, we had only won 4 games in a World Cup final ever. Like since I think we got in 2000.
In a World Cup.
Sorry, they call them final because you got your qualifiers. So you get to a World Cup, the whole tournament's called the World Cup final.
Kind of thing,
Yeah. I know it's been annoying. I was on the TV all the time. But anyway, at the World Cup, we've only won 4 games total. So that was our 5th win in the history of the Australian soccer team.
Good
So,
point.
yeah. So, like, wins are that hard to get. But the thing that come across, and I think you were talking, Bills, before the show, was the value of our team compared to some of the other teams around the world. Like,
crazy difference, is it?
well, I don't know, Bills. Have you said you got like some stats on that, mate? But yeah, how much each player obviously worth in the team compared to other teams around the world? I think we're a drop in the ocean, aren't we, mate?
Yeah, well, look at a country like France. Their market value is 1.5 billion euros. Between all their players. So,
Wow.
and I'll just look up Australia real fast.
That sounds like Wagga City.
I would have cut that out in the past, but there's a soundbite out there that
Shots fired.
says, "Do not ever believe anything I say on this
not just
podcast."
one. I'm sure there's another 6 clubs in the comp.
How about Messi bagging a hat trick?
He's a freak.
Oh,
God, he's good.
Yeah.
And they're talking about the whole Messi Ronaldo thing.
Yeah.
Messi's got him covered.
Portugal drew against Congo.
Yeah.
Exactly right, against a nobody
And
team.
he couldn't score a goal. He had like 3 or 4 shots on. Yeah. Sorry, Bills. Where were you, mate?
So about the Aussie Socceroos is about 77 billion euros as compared to 1.5 billion euros for the French side.
77 million
77
euros.
million.
Yeah. Which is what, 6 times. So the Turkish team was 6 times more valuable than us.
So
they're like,
we're
is that
the
right?
36th out of 48 nations as far as the overall wealth of the market of the team. And
Really?
the Turkish
It's just
team,
amazing how much.
470 million euros.
Yeah, right. So there's a lot of money in soccer, isn't it? Like, yeah, it's insane. Like,
That's crazy.
yeah. But you're right, though. Sorry, going back to what you boys were talking about before. Messi, it's funny now. Every team in the World Cup has like the French Messi. It's how they're described, you know, like the Australian Messi or, you know, the best player. And yet he's still in the World Cup. He's played heaps.
That was his 200th game.
200.
Yeah,
In
just
unreal.
World Cup game or just.
200th game for.
Wow. Yeah. That's insane.
World Cup game. You play about 7 games in a World Cup.
Well, because they always, but they
He's
always.
170 years old.
And you know what? He would get 200
He
World
would.
Cup games.
He's still got a lot of time left.
That's why we leave the stats to Beal, so I'm just going to shut up here in the corner. But do you reckon he's a chance of getting whatever it is, the best player, Golden Boot? If
It's early.
I'm really loving the like SBS's coverage of the World Cup
Yeah.
is exceptional. The ability for streaming, and then you can watch full game 30-minute package, 12-minute package, or just highlights is gold.
yeah,
Like that ability to watch, like because the games are like almost 100 minutes long with the 2 drinks breaks that they have in them. So it's nothing for there to be 8 minutes of extra time at the end of the game or injury time, whatever. And yeah, SBS doing well.
Sorry, just on that, the drinks break. It's 26 degrees in some of the games. Do you think it's just an advertising marketing grab to
100%.
flash some more sponsorship for
100%.
for
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
extra time?
the
Like it's-
only thing that I don't know about is because all the games are undercover in a roof,
Nah, that's not
No,
true.
they're not.
Nah,
isn't it?
Not all
a
of
lot
them.
of open roof stadiums.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because I looked at
Yeah.
the game where the Socceroos played, and it was undercover.
Yeah, that was in one of the Canadian stadiums, I think.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
in Vancouver.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah.
And I assumed that maybe because you've got no airflow, would it get quite hot? But no, I don't know.
No, it's like a lot of the stadiums are NFL stadiums.
It's just funny that the drinks break time matches up quite closely to a normal ad break slot. So I don't know if that's coincidence or
it's not.
It has to be, does it? Like,
but going back, Sam, I can't remember. Was it Stan or one of those platforms tried to take it on one of the World Cups? It was Optus. Remember when Optus streaming
Sport had
service
it for a while?
They took it on, and it was a complete disaster. They couldn't keep up with the number of people that wanted to watch it, and it failed dramatically. I can't remember. I don't know, Beals, if you could look that up, but I think SBS are the true, because if you don't have the free to air viewing, I just don't think the streaming platforms can keep up. Or maybe they can now, but
maybe they can. But SBS are offering it as a streaming service.
Yeah, that's why I'm watching it. Yeah,
which is
streaming it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I don't have an aerial connected to my telly. Like I'm watching everything on streaming.
Yeah. Must be nice.
Fiber to the
home. Well, I don't know, but I do remember when Optus did take it off SBS, and there was a big controversy over it, and it was expensive to get onto Optus Sport, and you couldn't get the coverage. It was always crashing, and the network couldn't handle the views. But
dial up.
Yeah.
I think it's the first time I watched SBS2 since I was about 16 years old. On a Friday night at 10 p.m. They used to have like a raunchy movie.
World
movies. Like you might see a left breast here or there. Like it was nothing. But as a 16-year-old, you watched the Friday night footy. Like 20 minutes. The time was gone. I'm gonna put on the SBS. And so that's the last time I could have watched this. Yeah. So it's come a long way.
And so have you. Tell me.
Yes, thank you.
Have you?
SBS are leaning. And in one of the ads, they lean into it where they call themselves Sex Before Soccer.
Yeah. I haven't seen that, but
and they're just buying in. They're just like, yep, that's us. Like,
it is so good.
It's incredible. Yeah, because that you're right. That's what, when I think of SBS, that's exactly where my mind goes, just for Eurovision and after hours TV viewing.
The reality is that now that your favourite website has been blocked in Australia, you're back to where it all started.
Literally.
Yeah, Tommy. Yeah,
that and Nudie Magazine Day, made for Billy Madison, has gone through the roof again. Like them sales have gone up massively. Surely.
Lucky we're not back into a lockdown.
No, or boarding school.
Yeah.
Awesome. Hey, I was got a quick question for Bills, and it's a bit off the topic of football.
Mm-hmm.
But last time we were talking, Bills, 2 podcasts ago, you had a bit of a rant about Origin being on a Wednesday night, and that. Just curious if you watched the Mighty Maroons get up last night against the Blues.
This isn't the first time he's had a rant about Origin being on a Wednesday either, too. I reckon there's been another one.
Could have been. Every year I give you the shits.
Every year.
It was pre-podcast time, Sam. Yeah.
No, I didn't watch any
it?
of it.
Ooh.
Because
you watch it, Mitch?
I
didn't realise there was a game on. So, yeah. Sorry, James?
I don't like to start watching it because then I'll get stuck watching the whole thing. So I just think, no, I won't even bother starting it because I know it's too late to finish. I'm going to watch the end of it.
That was fair. It was about a 10 p.m. finish last night, which for a school night's horribly late.
Yes.
Strong first half from the Blues.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was
Mark played well.
God, I'm excited to see him in the Wallaby Gold next year.
Yeah.
As our group chat last night.
Yes.
Like, it's just, he's such a talented sportsman.
Strong.
Killing the league game.
Creative.
Just,
good footwork.
Can finish tries.
Yeah.
Like some of the stuff he does is brilliant.
Even the one where he looked like he'd stuffed it up, that I think it was maybe early on in the second half, it was so close to being a try. Like he looked from live, there was zero chance.
Yeah.
Like I looked at it and gone, yep, I see where you're disappointed. And they show the replay, and it is
the line.
about like a couple of centimeters out. That's all it is, and his whole body is over the line.
But just his strength, like it was a 1-on-4. He had to beat 4 players, score a try, and his footwork and just agility and everything, and strength.
that
God,
half a set though that he was able to take there that held them all, that just gave him the ability to, and it looked like one of the Queensland players might have, like he was kind of had someone falling on his foot or something like that. So he kind of probably added to that. But to be in that position to be able to just hold your line enough that those players go from being on their toes to their heels, just gives you enough time to just do what he does.
Because how old is he? Is he
No idea.
early 20s?
He'd have to be
23, 24
Well, he
maybe?
hasn't been playing that long.
25.
Yeah.
I reckon
right.
that was his origin debut, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But how long's he been?
25.
How long's he been playing for the Roosters? I can't remember him playing.
This is his second year.
Yeah, I'll look it up.
Yeah, but as we were discussing too, like it's that Queensland team was too good. Their spine, like Ponga, Munster, Walker, and Harry Grant,
25 years old.
Yeah, just destroyed them. God, they were good. The Blues had no answer for him, which was awesome.
And they just have such a way of just polishing, and planning, sets, and then being able to execute when the opportunity is there.
Yeah,
that we just don't. Even there were some of the decision making that the Blues players did, and Brian To'o was one. It was in the second half where we were on a forced tackle. He was going to get held. It was, he either had to take the tackle, but instead of taking it and moving centre field to give us an option, or closer to the post to give us an option for a kick, with more opportunity around the ball, he went to the sideline. And look, I'm not a rugby league, tactician at all, but surely you want to be in the middle of the field. If you're kicking, you want to be in the middle of the field, give yourself left
2 ways to go.
options.
Yeah.
And I was like, why isn't that in his mind, right? As a player, no, he should know, I think, what his tackle count is looking like, where his support players are, where he is on the field, and trying to get in the best position to set him up for the kick.
Yeah.
Just didn't take
What do you reckon? Just not. They're trained to finish rather than make the setup decisions?
I don't think they think like that. Do you know what I mean? And I think, and Billy Slater's a gun coach. You see the way he coaches, the way he holds himself, the way he behaves, the way he talks to people. Even things that weren't going their way in the first half, and he's talking on the broadcast.
Yeah,
and he's just like, it is what it is. We're just going to make up for it. Do you know what I mean? And you go, as a player, to have someone like that behind you who's clearly got faith in you, is confident in what you can do, and has a game plan, and is it looks as though, given the results over the last number of years, he is planning and coaching, to win games of footy. It's a skill. And if we're not planning and thinking through all the different scenarios that can happen on a field, you're a reactive team.
Yeah,
and I think that's the difference between the two. You are a very calm, measured, team who are, coordinated in what they're doing, versus a reactive team that's trying to take opportunities. And we did well in that in the first half last night. We took our opportunities, but it doesn't to me look like they're planning for it.
Yeah.
I think I get what you're saying about the coach being an important part, but
and I love Laurie Daly, for the record. He's a guy.
No, but I think too, those guys on the field, I give a lot of credit to Munster, Harry Grant, those people on the field, because at the end of the day, the coach is only there with that team for maybe, the week leading up to it, that weekend.
10 days,
10 days in that comp. On the field, when that shit hits the fan, or when they're under pressure to take opportunities, and you could see it when Munster went off, the Queensland team shifted their attitude a bit, didn't they? They looked a little bit lost. They didn't have that direction that they had back when he came back on, and especially into that second half when they just took control.
Yeah, but for me, that's a coaching point, that the right players are in the right positions.
Yeah.
And they're reading what's happening on the game, because they've been coached what to do in those instances. They've, and rugby league's a brutal game. Do you mean yes, there's differences between league and union. I'm a fan of both of them, but rugby league is attrition. Just bashing, looking for weakness and exploiting weakness. And those players, like you're saying, they have the ability to do that, but they have the ability to do that because they're thinking about where they are on the field, who's in front of them, who's been subbed off, do you mean which edge is weak, and they want to try and get into that space and exploit those things. And when you look at, no doubt, Joey Johns and those boys will do something on an NRL 360 or something this week where they'll talk through the sets that they're set up into, the mismatches that are created out of that, and that is a long-term gain from a coaching perspective.
The only frustrating part about the whole thing, for me, was just the lack of use of some of the players on the bench from that we had. We had some really good strike. We had, is it Strange from Raiders that was sitting on the bench? You had a cracking game one. Kind of came on when it was a little bit too late. Like, it just seemed like we had a lot of strike that didn't get utilised. Where
Coruscant not getting used.
Yeah, I think at one stage Billy had made 3 changes in the first half when New South Wales hadn't made any.
Yeah.
Like, it just obviously, and you're right. It does come down to coaching and not being able to take those opportunities. But I think that's where it let us down in that game. I feel like, there's so many things, but if you've got those 2 strike players on there that play very reactive football and you're getting hammered with predictability in your running lines, like, do you think you'd make a change?
Yeah, possibly. I don't know. I thought our first half was pretty handy. We just, Queensland too fucking good in the second half.
Yeah. The other thing is, which is interesting because a lot of those players play for Queensland teams, really. They're really not doing well in club footy, in NRL. Like, the Broncos are probably going to miss out on the 8, depending on how the back end of the season goes. Cowboys are struggling again this year. The Dolphins are playing quite well, but majority of those players are coming from either Melbourne, Brisbane, or Cowboys teams in that. Yeah. Is it just the fact that Billy Slater's able to get that coaching into them and get the best out of those players that they're not getting from clubland? Or what's your thoughts on that, Sam?
I think what happens for rep football is, regardless of code, as you start to move through the ranks, at a club level, you might wear 3 hats. I mean, you could be a mentor within your particular unit. You could be, you might be playing 60 minutes of footy versus, 40 that you might be playing at a rep level. When you get to a representative level, you tend to be able to specialise, and you're supported by elite level athletes. Like in NRL, that's what's happening for them. They can focus purely on their own game, and they know that they've got exceptional footballers around them to support them.
Yeah, I've seen it before in rugby union, especially as a young fellow my age. He played first grade shoot shield for Eastwood. John, great player, one of the leading try scorers of shoot shield of all time. He's great footballer, but he was a finisher. Came back and played for Cowra for a couple of years. Everyone's going, this guy's rubbish. He's not scoring all these tries, but at that shoot shield level, his job was to finish and score.
Yeah,
he didn't have that back at clubland in Cowra. He had to go looking for the work himself, which wasn't his race. He's wearing more than one hat, so he looks not as good as a player because he's doing a lot more work to try and be a better player.
The game plan at the shoot shield level was probably to exploit a particular weakness in clubs that the clubs didn't pick up on.
Yeah.
And he was able to exploit it, 20, 30 times or whatever in a season. He, gets gets accolades for that, and rightly so, but that has to go back to clubland where things are, more random and, weird things happen in park footy.
Yeah.
And it's not as structured, not as, coordinated.
Yeah.
And so he's, you just got to do more.
That's one thing I noticed. Everyone's always like, this guy's back from rep footy, he's going to kill it. Unless they're really seeing like a 10 or something, it's hard to see him absolutely destroy footy back at clubland.
My thing too is, probably going more back to from that high level back to local footy, is that you become that one good player in the team that everyone has to shut down.
Yeah.
Like if, for example, that, John who played for Cowra, if you shut him down, then you took out their key player where you go into shoot shield. You can't just shut down one key player because you've got 14 others that are just as handy.
Doing their own job. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that changes too. But no, it's just an interesting observation. And you're 100% right, Sam. I didn't even think of that when you're at rep footy, you've got one job finally. You go back to club footy, you're the leader again, and that's probably that same thing. Munster probably gets shut down by other clubs because he is that one good player at the Storm that all their attack's built off. Put him in that game, you've got all the other guys around him that, you can't just put the blinkers on.
Munster, Harry Grant.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Totally.
Yeah. Beals, I know you missed Origin. but one thing you never miss is a good movie or a movie review for that. So, mate, although we got knocked back on our sponsorship for Metro, you said you ducked in just to let them know. Yeah. To let them know what they're missing out on. Did you stay for a movie, mate? How was your experience?
Yeah, I did. I went to Metro on the weekend and actually bought a movie ticket, which was a shame. Thanks, Metro, for that. But I watched, I was looking forward to this movie, Disclosure Day by Steven Spielberg. I thought it would be pretty good. He's normally made some good movies in the past, but I must say I was very disappointed. This movie is 2.5 hours long. It's a drag, man. You feel every minute. It's so boring. And
even worse when you've paid money for it, Bills. And taking time out of your day to get in the car, head down to the movies.
The best part of it was the bucket of popcorn, I suppose, because at least I got something out of it.
It's my favourite part.
Oh, I've never had a bad bucket of popcorn at the movies.
No. It's the best.
So what went wrong for him, James?
So this movie, it's Disclosure Day. So it's based around the idea of the world finding out aliens are real. They've been on Earth for 70-something years. I thought this would get revealed pretty early on in the movie, and then it would be about how everyone deals with it. But it's at the very end, they reveal, and then the movie ends. That's it. So the whole movie is just 2 hours of building up to what we already know is going to happen. And it's just such a slog to get through. I was bored. And it's very predictable because you already know what's going to happen.
This sounds like the high school or primary school, essay that everyone wrote where all these wild things happen to you and then you wake up and it was all a dream.
They might have been better, actually. Maybe he should have made a movie about that.
Would you ever walk out, Bills?
I've never walked out of a movie if I've paid for it. I normally sit there and watch it all the way to the end. I haven't walked out of a theatre and watched it. I've turned off.
You're a better man than me.
I've turned off a streaming movie and shit before, but never. I've always, I figured if I've paid the ticket, I'm going to sit here and at least watch it to the end. But I won't be watching this movie again. I'd give it 1.5 out of 5. It was just very boring.
Well, that sounds generous.
It was hard to get through.
Where did you get the 1.5 stars from then, James?
Well, I mean, it's production value and the music is very good, and production value, it's all shot very well. Everything looks good. It's got good actors in it, but it's just it's so boring. It doesn't go anywhere. The story itself is very, very slow. And like, for example, there's a scene in the movie where she's on the run and she gets in the car with her boyfriend, and so she decides to throw her phone away so they don't track it. She throws it out the car, out the window. She tells the guy to run over it, and he misses it.
Why?
Just so they can destroy the phone. That's the idea. Anyway, he misses it. She tells him, I'll reverse back over it. He misses it again. He drives forward. He misses it again. So she has to get out of the car, smashes it with her foot, and then puts it under the wheel, and he drives over it finally. That's an actual scene from this movie. It's a 2.5 hour long movie. And that's like, why did I watch that? What a waste of time. She could have just threw the phone out the window and that'd be it, the end of it.
2 questions, Bills, about the movie.
Yeah.
1, was there any nudity?
None whatsoever.
Yeah, I can see why it's such a low rating film. And 2, is there any chance of a sequel?
No. Oh, well, not the one that I would watch. I think
that sounds like a good thing.
It's like, and I think it's a big budget. Like, it's been marketed as a huge, big budget summer blockbuster for the States, and it's just boring. So boring. That's all I got, because there's nothing that happens in the movie that's worth talking about. It's just, yeah. It was an absolute dud. And that's all I got for you.
Beals, the movie was shit, but I tell you who isn't going shit. The person that built your cap, the New York Yankees, mate. The person who built your cap. Shit.
He's not. The person who built shit. I'm sure the young 6-year-old Chinese kid's going real well. Oh,
segues. I've been so good for so long.
I bet you their pitcher, their leading pitcher sat there at night and stitched that the NY on it for Beals.
And that's what a championship team does. They all get in the trenches
exactly
together.
Right.
Beals, how are they going?
They're at the top of the table at the moment in their league, yes. Number one. They've got the best win-lose ratio so far, and they've got the highest runs differential ratio as well, so runs conceded, runs made. So they're doing very well at the moment. I'm still happy with my pick.
Very good. Now, well, I've got you there quickly, Beals, because I needed you to do a quick bit of research, mate. Netball finals are coming or nearly or about to start. I'm pretty sure they kick off this weekend. Amit's unfortunately not here to run through a bit of a preview, but Sam, you've been keeping a bit of a close eye. But Beals, do you know the matches that are all the lineups that are coming up?
Just getting that up now.
Thunderbirds, Vixens, and Fever Mavericks.
There you go, Sam. Which is it 1-4, 2-3?
Adelaide 1v2. Adelaide Thunderbirds, Melbourne Vixens 1v2.
Yep.
West Coast Fever, Melbourne Mavericks will be 3v4.
Oh, yeah, the elimination. Yeah,
correct. So Vixens. My girlfriend loves netball, so we watched the Vixens play in the replay the other day, and yeah, I think they got done by 15 in the end, which is a big deal for them. Yeah. They got dusted, but yeah, I don't know. Reigning premiers.
Yeah,
a lot
tough
of quality
to beat
in that team, a lot of diamonds in the team. So,
and do you say is it Mavericks are up against?
The Adelaide Thunderbirds play the Melbourne Vixens.
Melbourne Vixens, yeah.
And then the West Coast Fever play the Melbourne Mavericks, which is the Mavericks' first year too.
Yes, I was going to say, yeah, it's their first season in the Super Netball. Pretty good achievement.
Cracking achievement.
Yeah. The other thing Emma messaged me quickly to talk about with you boys, the Australian netball team has been picked. The Diamonds have been picked. She made a comment that it's been an old, reliable squad. There's not a lot of new names that have been picked in there. I suppose the question I want to ask you two boys, being coaches and Bills, if you've got an opinion, what's your thoughts on picking a national team or a big rep team? Do you go to players that have been reliable in the past? Do you look at trying to bring in new blood? Like, how would you approach? I know it's a very open-ended question, but they seem to have gone for the tried and tested rather than the new and exciting team.
Is that for a World Cup, sorry? Or is that just a national squad game?
Just a national squad they're getting together, yeah.
I guess the big thing is what's the end goal, isn't it? Like if you're trying to get towards a World Cup, you might pick a few new young people in the team to blood them through, or if you're just going for a bit of glory and try and win that trophy, then pick what's working. But yeah, I think like let's say like in our sport, rugby, you'd have that end goal as a World Cup team, wouldn't you? Pick towards and try a few different players and a few young kids with the old kids and stuff. But
I don't know where that sits in the landscape of World Cups and all those sort of things, and I really don't know enough about the sort of the fringe players that are coming through, but the old heads in the group, for want of a better word or better term, or the tried and tested athletes, they're quality. There's some handy netballers in that group. They are world class. So
the experience
if it
that
ain't
you
broke,
bring,
don't fix it.
Totally.
Someone's going to have to really knock them off their perch, I reckon, to get into that team.
Yeah, and that's right. Like even like say, look at AFL. Look at a few of the older squads this year, like Geelong, Collingwood, and Swans.
Geelong.
They're going so well.
Geelong, they're on fire.
Yeah, and they're all a lot of old heads in there. So it all depends what I guess the end goal is and what they're looking for. out of it. So, but the biggest thing is you don't want to say in 3 years' time you lose 85% of your squad because they're retired.
Yeah.
That'd just be poor management in the system.
That's the risk that the Diamonds run, is that those players, hold on for too long without having the understudy there to learn the ropes.
I know, but it's a bit like the Brisbane Origin team, though. They had those blokes, that steady team in there for so long, didn't they? That spine. Then the next guys came in and they kind of just filled their role, didn't they? Like, I suppose you could get the next generation underneath, learning from them in being an understudy at club level, maybe. I don't know.
I don't think they play enough games.
Yeah, good point. Yeah. The season is pretty short in Super Netball, isn't it? Like, it's, what'd you say, nearly 12? Is it 12 rounds? Maybe more? I don't know, sorry. But too short for the Swifts to make a comeback, unfortunately, for Emma. So I don't know where they finished, but they're definitely not in those final four that you read out, Sam. So
they most certainly are not.
Yeah. Look, another thing we wanted to quickly talk about, Sam, being a referee too in the zone, and just looking a bit of local footy. You're back running around the park again.
Don't start that rubbish.
Sorry. The refereeing is not what I...
up twice this year.
To be absolutely clear, I've done 2 CTA games. I am not back as a referee.
Well, the thing I wanted to talk about isn't refereeing, but you and I had spoke on the phone earlier this week, was the quality and the improvement that we're starting to see in the women's comp in our zone and coming back from the juniors. I was out helping out referee some junior games on the weekend through some 17s girls and below, and we were just making a comment that the skill level there now and the tackling and the set playability now is just increasing so fast. Those girls are really, like, it used to just be pass it wide to the fast girls and run around and, you'd score the try, where now there's a lot of structure in their attack and defence. It's really good to see.
Yeah, I did, who did I do on the weekend? Tars Albury and the girls, which was a good game of footy. And, both teams, had to battle it out for the win for Tars, but they were both competing. Albury had a stronger scrum than Waratahs on the weekend, in my view. But they ground out a win from, the rest of their game, so that it's, I guess, to your point, there's strengths and weaknesses to the teams, and they were able to, get the ball in there at scrum time and play on.
2 things. Sorry. First one is just about the reffing of the game. Like, I know, say, if you're reffing a 1s, 2s, or 3s men's game, you ref for the grade what you're doing. Like, in 3rd grade, you might let a few things go. How do you go in, like, a 1 grade comp kind of thing? Like, you've got players who are 1st grade standard, players who are 3rd grade standard. Is it a bit tougher to try and ref and get it all done to make sure it's fair for everyone? Or how do you set your... Like, 'cause you still want to ref very fairly, but then some players might just hate that kind of thing. Like, do you find it a bit tougher to ref 1 grade things, or you just same expectation the whole way through?
I think you've just got to look at what's in front of you. I mean, you've just got to, I guess, try and understand the intent of the players. What are they trying to achieve in those instances? And the one marker that, I was always told to have at the forefront of your mind as a referee was, is that a positive action? Do you mean, are those, players, what's their intent in their action? If you think their intent is positive, do you mean, play with it? Do you mean, you may not, that's not to say you let them get away with whatever, but you might, you might explain your decision differently, or do you mean, talk to them on the run or something like that? Or you might penalise and go, look, we did that because of this. Your action was positive, but you didn't get a penalty for this other reason.
Yeah. I think the big change and that's why I wanted to bring it up, was in the past, that gap is more between we kind of go back to law language when we referee, was what we've been coached. So less words, but more direct. When you have a mix of experienced players that are coming from, say, league or not a union background, it can get very confusing when you say, tackle release or let them go or play the ball or, roll away. Where I found that on the weekend, that knowledge or that language now is being picked up. The players are responding to that. They're understanding what we're saying. Like, even as simple as when you blow a penalty, who takes a tap? Like when they're looking at the signals, understanding our referee signals and our language around when we blow a penalty, where in the past it's very much roaching. You'd be like, righto, guys, blue get the ball because they did this, blue's tap, let's go. where now they're very responsive to that. They look up to you, they see the signal, they understand your language, and it's moved on. Where I think, like what you're saying, Tommy, that's the difference. I don't think it's the level, it's the experience and the understanding of rugby that it's increased. And I think it's credit to the guys doing the juniors because it starts from there. I think those players are now into the 17s, now into the seniors, which is just showing it's paying off.
And that's one massive thing too is the women's sport, especially rugby, is being pushed a lot more through schools. There's a lot more experienced, great coaches out there. Like I know in the Wagga area, the women's coaches from juniors all out to seniors are all great, experienced coaches, and like they're making the game a lot better and a lot more positive. But it's one of the ones like 15, 20 years ago, it was just they were playing to be involved in a footy club. Now it's actually skill based, and it's come so far, and it's only getting better. Like watching the like sevens, for example. I think did our Australian sevens girls win the whole thing, win the whole competition.
Oh right,
like it's just going to the next levels. Like it's come such a long way, which is awesome to see.
I reckon there's a core group of, are still athletes, obviously, but we're active players in that sort of Brumbies, Super W type space that, were playing at an elite level while still involved locally, who trained here, local gyms, and brought on those sort of, we'll call them fringe players or emerging athletes, up and comers, whatever. And even, experienced local footballers that trained, together or understood what that effort that those athletes were putting in. And I think that's had a transition effect to young athletes around them who've seen, their mentors doing, training to a high level and executing high level skills. And then they, if you can't see it, you can't do it. Being able to then execute those same skills themselves because they've got mentors around them telling them what to do. And there's a couple of guns in the local rugby community that sort of starts back with Alicia Quirk / Lucas, and there's many others that went before her. But April, Harriet, Biola, like there's a whole group in that sort of within that sort of nucleus of athletes that were training together and competing against each other, but also bringing each other along the same path. It's awesome.
Yeah, now we've got 2 new local girls that have just made their Super Rugby debut this season.
Yeah,
Super Rugby
exactly.
debut.
Yeah,
So
guns.
Yeah, and we don't have any men from last season doing that. So I know it's different, but it's just awesome to see that level change, and they're getting recognised.
I think a key difference there for the male athlete versus the female athlete is that it's very difficult for a male athlete, I think, to stay in a regional area, particularly Wagga. We're 5 hours from Sydney, 5 hours from Melbourne. It's very difficult for an athlete to stay in this area and compete. Even if you want to say, well, it's not so far to Canberra. When you go to Canberra, there's Eddie's and Marist and those sort of schools over there. You've got what's the league one? Erindale down at Tuggeranong. There's handy AFL clubs over there on the ACTAF, all that. Boys, it's a more saturated market, and I guess girls with having other mentors around them helps bring them up through the skill ranks.
Yeah. And don't forget the guys that miss out in club footy in Sydney are coming across to Canberra too, like to chase that. Like the Brumbies are still a pathway for any player wherever they're from. So you've got that background. But no, that was just a really cool observation I had from the weekend.
Speaking of young athletes, is there a breakdown from the June long weekend, Tommy?
Yes, you're super coaching with the juniors.
Yeah. No, it was, that 18s age group is just unreal.
So what were you down there for, Tommy?
So I was down in Sydney Concord for the New South Wales State Rugby Championships. Waratahs run an event, but a couple of invitational teams, and we took the first ever under 18s Southern Inland rugby boys down there, which was awesome. Had a good mix of crew. A lot of the guys play senior footy already, so they're quite good, skilled young men footballers. And no, it was great. First game we got there, played Illawarra, knocked him off. Boys like, oh, this is easy. How good's this? Came up against a very, very tough far north coast. He put 50 on us. Mid north coast did the same, but the boys just experienced it was the first real look at I guess a senior rep program for them. And we're lucky enough. Our last training session we actually teamed up with the Siru men's team and worked with Nick and Corey and Isaac the Griffith coach there, and they went through it all and thought, oh, this is awesome. Like we can actually see how a senior men's rep program's run, and I'm sure next year there'll be a few going in. But no, it was a cracking event. We actually played South Coast Monaro in our last game, which was 15th versus 16th. And it was a bit of sweet. It was kind of the game the boys wanted to win, being the two Brumbies clash. And unfortunately, we went down, I think, 12-7 in a close game. But great experience. The boys loved it, had great feedback so far. And they're really positive for Southern Inland to get a under-18s team competing. So
how good is the touring element for that? Like, let alone the competition element, and the competition element to really show yourself where you're at and the effort that you got to put in to compete with those tournaments. And I've been lucky enough to play in some of those tournaments, and many years ago we won one. But like, you've then got to go, hang on, I've got to take that away and I've really got to work on it. But the touring element, right? Like where you connect with, players from other clubs and, people you probably want to bash week in, week out, playing, whatever level of rugby you're playing against them or whatever code it is, but then to tour with them and go, the person that I want to get over, on the opposition, I really respect them. So playing with them is actually a great outcome as well, where you know what they're capable of and you can, bring them up as well.
And that's one also, like Cal, the head coach of the program, he's also Aggies head coach, has been involved in a few high-level programs, and he just knew the right things. Like the first night we got there, a bit of a train run. Second night after the first couple of days, the boys are excited. So did a whole squad dinner with parents, families, everything. There was 72 of us. Went down, but all the players had a dynamic duos thing. So they actually dressing the character. And they all dressed up, and some great ones, some average ones, but they all had to go and played some trivia and did some prizes. And at the end of the whole tour, that was what they're talking about. They're talking about how fun that bonding experience was. And that's what it is. It's the off the field stuff is twice as important as on field stuff.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Well, you'll have to go back for keen listeners of the show if you haven't, and we encourage all people to start from episode 1 to listen to Sam's experience when you took the SSA boys over to New Zealand for that, which was early on in our podcasting days, wasn't it, Sam? But same stories, and it's great. I love to see young kids getting involved because they're the future. We need our grassroots coming through to hopefully improve our professional level, because that's how it starts.
So one thing that did grind my gears a bit was you look at standout players at the tournament, like the round week 10. It's like, oh yep, now he signed with Manly Ringer. Oh yeah, that guy, now he signed with South Sydney. That guy, he signed with Dragons. Not one player was, oh yeah, he's a Waratahs junior, he's a Brumbies junior. There's all the standout kids in that program. They're already signed with league clubs, which how it is. Like,
it was the same thing when we went to the Global Youth Sevens. Like of the, the 7, the starting 7 for Australia and the starting 7 for New Zealand. A little bit different from the New Zealand side because their franchises are more engaged.
Yeah.
But of the 14 or 15 young under 18 athletes in the Australian 7 squad, majority of them are NRL. Yeah.
The only thing I will say to that, though, Tommy, and you mentioned it to me off the podcast, was if you were playing first grade for ISA comp, so the major Sydney schools, you were ineligible for that competition.
So just the GPS boys.
GPS boys.
Yeah. So they in the middle of their tournament, so all them guys weren't playing. So I guess they are. Yeah.
They would be your Waratahs, Brumbies,
Brumbies boys,
Shoot Shield, signed.
But even saying that, like some of these guys from public schools and that who are playing were just acting like, he's signed with South, which is fair enough, because as we've discussed a million times, and we'll discuss a million more, there's 4 rugby clubs in Australia. There's 18 league clubs. A lot more choices.
Oh, totally. And I'm not saying
it's like a broken record talking about it, but it's just and
I'm not saying that there's so many good, talented players that are missing out on rugby scholarships.
Oh yeah,
like even if there's only 90 players, that they wouldn't all be signed. However many, I don't know how many GPS teams there are.
The flip side of that too, though, is there's a lot of NRL talent in the GPS competitions.
Yeah,
and I guess if we're going to say that you want the Waratahs, for example, or the Brumbies, whoever, to be grabbing athletes and giving them scholarships to, GPS schools, for example, you're taking them out of that environment. And yes, you put them into another environment that is essentially an academy for, what happens at the Waratahs level or the Super Rugby level, whatever we want to call that. But it's a key point and one of the Socceroos players was talking about this recently, that the difference between for the youth development for the Socceroos as they come through at under 12s sort of level, Australia is on par with international teams. As you go to under 14s level, we start to drop a little bit. As you get to 16s, further, 18s, the gap widens and so on. And a lot of that, the Socceroos guys are putting that down to a lack of playing time.
Yeah.
Because you can train as much as you like, but you've got to get them playing time.
The other thing too, Sam, with that juniors in soccer is I think it is the most expensive junior sport to sign up for now.
Serious?
Yeah. I know I was listening to one of the sports commentators. I think it was I can't remember which soccer bloke, but he was saying that was his biggest gripe with the Soccer Australia, is that now it is like quite a financial investment for your kids to play soccer in comparison to AFL and rugby league and rugby union. Yeah. So I don't know.
I'll look
that up,
league have just got the model.
Would that vary on the area or the state?
You seen the size of shin pads in the World Cup?
Hang on, what was that, James? Sorry, mate.
Would that price vary on the area and the state, or is it all dictated by above?
It's typically dictated by the insurance. Like a club might have different sponsorships deals, but most sports now, there's an individual player insurance, there's an individual player cost to the club. Now, there might be a club fee, but most of the costs are pretty well standard across the board.
There you go. Sorry, I'm just trying to look up here. I made the mistake of looking up most expensive sport to play as a junior. Silly
Golf.
me. No, equestrian. Yeah. I gave up. That's why we leave the research to Beals.
So just something that I was thinking about yesterday when I was on my walk. I had the headpods in, AirPods in there, the headpods, bumping along, listening to some quite aggressive, hardcore metal. And I'm bopping along and everyone's walking past, giving me a wave and stuff. Do you ever walk past someone, and I'll start with you, James, do you ever walk past someone and just be like, I wonder what they're listening to right now, and try and guess their music for the next few minutes? Or am I just a weird cat doing that?
I have done that, but I'm also do it when I'm driving and you see someone in the car and they're talking and there's no one else in the car, and you think, I wonder what they're talking about or what they're listening to or what they're singing to. So I have done that. Wondered what people listen to. And I'm sure they look at me if I'm mouthing the words to a song or talking to myself or something. I'm sure they look at me and go, what's this crazy bloke doing?
Just on that, Mitch, if you walk past Beals, what song do you reckon would be in his ears? Like, you didn't know the man. He's walking along, beard flowing in the wind.
Yeah.
What music was like? This guy's listening to a bit of Led Zeppelin or a bit of classic opera. What would you pick?
Master of Puppets.
Oh, Metallica.
Yeah.
Is he close at all there, James? Or
I'd say I know what.
Sorry, can I re-answer that question, James? I'm pretty sure it would be Snoop Dogg. Just rap.
Snoop Double D.
Thank you.
Bills all the way through high school.
Snoop Dogg.
Oh, really? A bit of a fan?
No, I can't stand his music.
Aussie rock.
Yeah. Aussie rock. So that's like if I walk past you, Sam, I imagine a bit of Akadaka or a bit of rock and roll.
Nirvana.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Nirvana, but lately, like my Spotify playlist, like Zach Bryan all over.
Really good country. I wouldn't have picked him as a country man.
Yeah. Is he country? Is he? I think he blurs the line.
He wears a cowboy hat. He's country.
Yeah, I would call him country.
Country rock.
Country rock. I don't know.
Modern country.
Modern
Isn't
country.
that Billy Ray Cyrus?
That's true. Then you got that. Is it Jelly Roll? That big fella.
Yeah.
He
He's not so-
raps,
he's not
but
so-
he's
he's not
country.
so
No,
big
he's lost the
anymore.
heap, hasn't he? I saw
Do you
that.
know who his country artist now, I reckon, is Post Malone.
Post by.
And he's amazing at it.
100.
Yeah.
He's always good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
No, Tommy?
No, I reckon Mitchell.
Yeah.
I reckon it'd be like probably a psycho killer podcast or
No,
something. Just
Slim
look at you.
Dusty.
Yeah.
Oh, you reckon?
Digging a hole in my guitar.
just pitching along.
I don't know. I vibe it some days. Yeah. But
Yeah.
I'm a bit more of a, like, in the mornings, I listen to a radio show. So,
Really? Yeah. Just,
like a talkback radio, Big Sports Breakfast every
Yeah.
morning. Yeah.
yeah.
But I don't know. It's weird. And Sam's probably, and yourself, Tommy, and Beals as well. When you spend so much time in the car, sometimes you get sick of music. You have to kind of, then you go in
My favourite
phases.
thing after a while in driving in the car and talking on the phone, just nothing. Like
Really?
driving silence. Yeah.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah.
I can't do it, but I just get my own thoughts. So
Yeah.
that's.
But going back to your original question, Tommy, have you told us yours?
What do you think? If you walk past me, just bump
Sam,
along,
You've already given it away. Like it's Slipknot. It's
Yeah.
It is, but my biggest thing I find
Pushing a pram, listening to Slipknot.
it goes from Slipknot into Backstreet Boys into Andre Rieu. Then next song will be like Nicki Minaj with super bass. Like, it's
I'm the same.
I love it. Yeah.
But there's one bloke on, like, we take the dogs for a walk every morning, and there's a older fella that goes for a run, a jog. And the way my circuit works is I kind of cut up the middle, and he must do the full block lap. But he doesn't have headphones in, but he's playing something on his phone. Okay. Now he runs. He's a really nice fellow. He just jogs along, and I always say hello. And he's like, hello. But he's playing something on his phone, and it's not music. It's audio only, like someone talking. But I cannot work out, is it an audio book? Is it a podcast? I don't think it's a radio show, but he's been doing this for years.
Yeah, I've heard it. It's an audiobook tone. Like it's not a radio show tone. It's the monotone. Someone reading a book. Yeah.
Yeah, but I wonder if it's just like a podcast. But yeah, he's religiously.
Is it our podcast?
It could be the Aussie Backyard Banter. Maybe it's
you know what you got to do, don't you?
Right next to him.
You've got to tackle him.
Yes.
So when you get back from Europe, we'll set this up.
What are you listening to? when you said like you passed him a few times,
yeah.
How many times do you say hello? Every time? Or just the first time?
No.
And it's like awkward just to look at your phone so you don't like, what do you do?
Well, the thing is, now it's in wintertime. I usually only say hello to him on the top end.
So you snob the first
No,
time?
because it's just that bit dark. So it's kind of, you're a bit too distant, and he kind of runs
got your
around.
balaclava on it.
Yeah, shotgun. Yeah. Knives.
Pit bulls you walk in and
But then usually on the second time, you have a good wave and say hello. But because then the other thing is too, if you say hello the first time, what do you do the second time?
He says
Just
g'day
nod?
again. No, he says g'day again. I think I've got him 3 times.
And I always think because the second time I meet him is when he's running aggressively uphill and I'm coming back downhill. So I kind of feel bad. I'm like, don't ruin your best stride just to say hello for the second time. So I just not.
Do you ever say you walk past someone run past you again? Do you try and say like, right, they're running at XB because I've obviously gone up here and cut through there?
100%.
All the time.
I see one of the other guy's dogs and I'm like, I've got to race you. Get further around here to there.
Or you have an aggressive dog walking towards you. Yeah. And they determine where you walk. If they come straight, you turn right. If they turn right, you go straight. It's tough.
We can do a podcast on just walking logistics. And because then the other thing that gets me is when I've been using the green bags just to put the dog poo in to collect it.
You're a good man.
Even though you can't put them in the green bin anymore.
I saw that's a red bin now.
Yeah, I've just got a plethora of green bags. So now I just use them. But my issue is when you try and open them, like, because they stick together, it takes me, some days you can get it just with the quick rub of your fingers. Other days, and because if you spit, like to do that like you normally do with plastic bags, it degrades the bag because they're like biodegradable. So you can't do that. So I'll be sitting there like after the dog does its business, usually on someone's very well manicured lawn. I don't know why she doesn't pick the footpath. No, it's got to be right in front of someone's house. I'm sitting there trying to rub this bloody bag open for about 5 minutes. It just shits me.
Can I dog Mitch in?
Yeah.
I've walked past him many times and I've seen him look at the poo, look at the bag and just like look around. No one's there and just keeps going.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
more than twice.
Yeah. I've never done it, but yeah, nothing's worse than when the green bin the green bag splits because they're biodegradable.
Do you know what we need an update
Shit.
on too for this this episode, which is the electric versus petrol mower sitch?
Oh, it's over because Tommy used my petrol mower and said how fantastic it was.
No, I know he used it, but how's the battery job going after you bought in the big guns?
So good. Yeah, it just needed a deep clean, just needed to burn the ozone for a bit, and then now just chuck it on 3, get through it. Yeah, mate. But it was impossible, Sam. It was. I was pushing it like the grass was bloody 5 inches thick. It was
welcome to a very special episode of Aussie.
That's not at all what I wanted to
play. I mean, Morgan Freeman's back.
Yeah, righto.